Not bad. Alright. Get the fuck out of here. Today's video will be a long walk themed with violence. So let's get going. So Anonymous, if you don't know, is a group of hackers that tries to better the world in a way that they see fit and attack random things. They're a bunch of hackers and have taken on many people such as the KKK and ISIS, where they took down several web pages and Twitter accounts owned by both of those groups. Anonymous has announced their endorsement for president, which is, to your surprise or not, Bernie Sanders. Their reason is that Bernie Sanders supports several non-competition or anti-non-competition laws. Speaking of Anonymous, a few weeks ago they also targeted a YouTuber named Sam Pepper. And Sam Pepper, if you don't know, puts up pranks on YouTube. He's a YouTube prankster. Several months ago he was brought under fire and scrutiny by people for his sexual assault video. It's a video where he went around with a fake hand in his pocket and he would grab women's asses. And it was deplored as sexual harassment because that's what it is. That's sexual assault when you grab someone in public. And he claimed it was fake and there was a whole rigmarole about it. The videos are still up and there's still people that have subscribed to him, but there's several more that have just written it off. So I was surprised to hear his name in the news again a couple weeks ago when he put a death of best friend prank video up. And this is where they kidnapped a person and their best friend who's going along with the prank, and then tie them both to the chairs and they shoot the best friend, and they let the person think that their best friend has been murdered in front of them. Even if this is a prank, this is terrible taste. It was in terrible taste. And they will have trauma from that, very likely. It's hard to, even if something isn't real, the synthesized experience of it can still shake a person. I'm laughing because of how horrible it is. Seriously. But Anonymous, in turn, targeted Sam Pepper, and they threatened him vaguely that if he doesn't take down the video in 24 hours, they're gonna ruin his life or attack him or something. And this news story got big. It was on Philip DeFranco, it was on several mainstream news things, it was on the internet. Anonymous targets Sam Pepper. So I was surprised when there wasn't any follow-up. I'm like, okay, now I'll just have to wait till tomorrow to see what happens. And I waited till tomorrow and no one came up with a story. And it happened for this a while, and a couple days ago I'm like, whatever happened to Sam Pepper being targeted by Anonymous? And I looked it up. I went to Sam Pepper's YouTube channel, which I don't suggest you doing because he's terrible, obviously. But his video was still up, and as far as I can tell, they hadn't done anything to him. So he did an update video where he talked about he was doing some kind of GoFundMe, and it got reported because he's an idiot, and GoFundMe is not for what he wanted it for, so he's just gonna go start another one, some other Indiegogo kind of thing. So Anonymous failed to stop Sam Pepper. Now the only way to really stop him is to ignore him until he goes away. And let's break while I remember what the rest was. Chi-raq! So, Spike Lee came up with a new movie called chi-raq. What? You haven't heard of this? Well, it's on the fantastic video movie distributor Amazon. It's an Amazon exclusive movie called chi-raq. You may not have heard of it because everything I've said has been sarcastic. So chi-raq, if you do not know, is a nickname given to the slums in Chicago. And it's a nickname given for all of the recent and I guess actually it's been a couple years though. It's been since at least 2011 or so that there's been several gangs in Chicago and the gun violence has just skyrocketed. And this is because there's several kind of micro gangs and they're all fighting each other. And it's actually been so bad. I'm smiling. I'm smiling again. It's terrible. Essentially, every 2 or 3 blocks in these small black neighborhoods, not small, in this large black neighborhood, there's essentially gangs forming. Vice did a documentary on it, and in it they interviewed several children, 12-year-olds that lived there, because they were the only ones that they were able to find that would talk to him. And they describe the situation as when their mothers take a walk to buy groceries, they can't walk with them because they'll be going through enemy gang territory and will just get shot. Like they said if they're just walking on the corner and there's a group of 5 or 6 guys, they can stop and ask you, where do you live? And if you don't have the right answer, or you just like they just shoot you. And they said when that happens, you need to just pop them before they pop you. Don't even answer. And it's a terrible thing to hear, because these are like children that were doing it. And that was just, unfortunately, it was one of their ones for HBO, and it was part of their HBO hour block, or half an hour block. But so it was only given 5 or 10 minutes to talk about this huge, complex situation. But already, just with that, you are already more informed about the situation than Spike Lee, I think. I only know about it because of Chesley's video where she was invited to the premiere of chi-raq. Chi-raq is about the gun violence happening in Chicago, but it is a modern-day interpretation of the Greek play Los Estrada, I believe. And in Los Estrada, there's a similar kind of war. So all of the women in the country, in the territory, to stop this war that's happening in the city, they all decide to withhold sex from their men until they stop fighting each other. And it works, because Greeks were dumb. So Spike Lee takes this situation where a Greek person made up a situation so that the answer would be the women who withhold sex, and then it's over. And then Spike Lee said this is a good idea to think about in Chicago. And Spike Lee has said in interviews he thinks that it would really work. Which is terribly unfair. Mostly since, like, for example, there are children being shot and being the victims of violence and being the perpetrators of violence and arming themselves. And it's all handgun. If there are children doing as part of this violence, and like small teenagers, like they aren't all about just having sex. Several of the problems of this premise is that, one, it puts all the responsibility on women. Spike Lee is suggesting that women are the people that need to stop violence by not having sex with men. And he's completely ignoring that this movie about violence and sex ignores sexual violence. So there's probably 2 or 3 throwaway lines about rape and he's like, no, it's just not a consideration for him. When, you know, already there currently is not a sex strike going on and people are raped. So, it's frustrating. It's frustrating is what it is. So not only is he putting out this preposterous statement, but he's also putting it out in a place where no one will see it. Like, how many people are subscribed to Amazon Prime, which is, if you sign up during the beta, $70, or if you sign up now, $99 a year. And that's just to get free Amazon packaging and streaming. It's dumb. I think it's pretty dumb. I'm having a lot of trouble with this because it's so dumb, and because Chelsea, she actually made a much better video than me. I will watch it. But going along the same lines, you know, since Spike Lee thinks upholding sex from Chicago will happen, I will do it. I will swear. I will not have sex with any gang members in Chicago until they stop the gang violence. There, throwing it out. There it is. Solve the problem. Thanks, Spike Lee. So stupid. Love it.